What's going on, everybody? It's Joel here, and today we're going to be unboxing and taking a look at two new special edition colorways of the Savage 1 from Born Primitive. They're going to launch under the Freedom capsule on November 1st. These two colorways showcase two of the most iconic flags in American history: the Gadsden Don't Tread on Me flag and the Betsy flag. America's history is rooted in rebellion, and sometimes these flags can be viewed as symbols of rebellion, but they can also be viewed as symbols of unity, that no matter where you come from, we're all still created equal. As a second-generation American, that very much resonates with me. My parents were refugees from Cambodia. They worked their butts off and they acquired the American dream. And with their hard work, it allowed me to be able to do what I'm doing today, owning a gym and also creating content. And that's something that I will never be grateful enough for. So while these two flags are symbolic of American history, you'd never see any major brands come out with something like this. So leave it to Born Primitive to do something rebellious by themselves and come out with two awesome colorways for two iconic American flags. So first off, we're going to take a look at the Gadsden flag, or the Don't Tread on Me versions. And they both come in the normal Born Primitive box. Opening it up, you've got your packaging paper, and then you have your shoes. Let's grab these out of here right now, throw that box aside, and take a look at the Don't Tread on Me Savage 1s, which come in a primarily black colorway with yellow accents. Now, taking a look around, we have our knit upper that is primarily black but has shades of gray in it to give it some contrast. It's not a complete blackout colorway, but it still kind of has that stealthy look to it. But it does, of course, have yellow accents, because the Gadsden flag is actually yellow with black accents, which I would not be opposed to a version of the Savage 1 for, but as it is, we have a black shoe with yellow accents, which I think most people are going to take to. The overlays on the shoe are that same stealthy black. There's a, I guess, gray line that goes through the toe box overlay and then carries on over to the metatarsal, where there's a more reinforced section to give you lateral stability. Of course, we have the Born Primitive logo in yellow, and then on the TPU heel counter, you have Born Primitive written out. Around the back here, we have another yellow accent line, and then we have an American flag on the left shoe. Now, taking a look at the right shoe, we have pretty much the same exact details throughout. We still have no differences in the colorway, but when you come to the back part where the TPU heel counter is, on the right shoe, there is the rattlesnake that is iconic on the Gadsden flag. Now, taking a look at the outsole, we have a full rubber yellow outsole with a black Born Primitive logo right there at the heel. We have that break in the heel to give you more flexibility in that area, make it easier to run in. And then we have obviously our multi-directional tread pattern that makes grip in these shoes excellent. The lugs do a great job in keeping the shoe flexible while also retaining that grip that you need. Now, taking a look at the laces, we have a high quality oval lace that's primarily black but also has a gray line through it to give it some contrast. And then on top of the tongue, it says DTOM for Don't Tread on Me. And then, of course, we have the Born Primitive logo right at the top of the tongue in yellow. Taking a look at the inside of the shoe, we have the removable insole with a yellow Born Primitive logo accent on it. And of course, this is our dual density insole, softer forefoot and more dense heel foam. Let's slip that right back in here. And as far as wearability goes, these are probably going to be the more wearable colorway out of the Freedom Capsule, mainly because they just come in this black colorway. Obviously, we do have yellow accents, but I think that doesn't really detract from the overall wearability of these shoes. Obviously, they are gym shoes, but if you wanted to dress them casually, I think you could do that or get away with that with the Gadsden Flag versions of the Savage 1. All right, now let's take a look at what I think is the more standoutish, but not too overly loud colorway from the Freedom Capsule, and that is the Betsy Ross versions of the Savage 1. And here they are. They come in the same box as the Gadsden Flag and all the other Born Primitive Savage 1s. Open it up. And then we have the Betsy Ross flags, which are a very patriotic looking colorway. Obviously, we have red, white, and blue as the main color blocking of these shoes, but they, like I said, stand out quite a bit more than the Gadsden versions, but I don't think that they stand out in a bad way. Obviously, red, white, and blue is a classic color combination, and I really don't think you can go wrong. So the Betsy Ross flag Savage 1s have a blue overlay, or you could say that it's a navy blue overlay, and on top of the toe cap you have a white contrast line to give it just a little bit more pop. The white on this shoe is blended in with a gray knit, so it does have a little bit more contrast. It's not a super bright white, but the nice thing about having that gray in there is that the shoes don't look that dirty after a little bit of wear. Coming around to the medial side heel counter, it says "We the People" written out, which is a really cool detail back there. The heel on this shoe is actually a different color. It's like a shade of gray, pretty much the shade of gray that's knit into the white fabric. And then on the lateral side heel counter, you have the Betsy Ross flag right there. On the other shoe, the flag is flipped. So on both shoes, it kind of faces one way or the other, and then they both say "We the People." That does not change on either shoe. Coming around to the lateral side again, we have the Born Primitive logo in red, and then on the tongue of this shoe, there is nothing besides the Born Primitive logo in red, but there is a little bit of blue on top of the tongue for contrast. The laces on the shoe are the same kind of oval lace, but they are white, and then they have blue piping to them. Coming around to the bottom part, we have a bright red outsole, and then you have a navy blue Born Primitive logo. So like I said before, this colorway stands out without being any kind of obnoxious. It might not be something that I would wear every single day. Obviously, you could do that if you only had one pair of training shoes at a time, but for me and this colorway, I probably save it for American holidays and hero wads. So the Savage 1s are one of my favorite training shoes from 2023. They do everything well. They have a modern twist on an old school idea of shoes. They do everything that you need them to do. They're flexible for running, plyo, agility movements, but they're also stable and flat when it comes to lifting movements. If you're a fan of a more minimalist, old school style training shoe and you haven't tried the Savage 1s, then I definitely recommend that you jump on the Savage 1 train as soon as possible, because I really think that there's a lot to like in these shoes. And what better a time to grab a pair of Savage 1s than with the Freedom Capsule, with the Betsy Ross flag, or the Gadsden flag. You can't go wrong either way. Obviously, we have a more stealthy, blacked out version of a flag, and then we have a more bright, standout version. And either way you go, there's really no right or wrong decision. So if you guys have any questions about the Freedom Capsule, Born Primitive Savage 1s, the Betsy Ross flag, or the Gadsden Don't Tread on Me flag, then leave them in the comment section. And as always, guys, please hit that like button, subscribe, and thanks for watching.